5 Days of Real Estate here with Charlie Porter. I appreciate you guys tuning in, taking notes, moving right along with me, and staying tuned with me. Continue to like, comment, and share this information with your family and your friends. And keep doing what you're doing. The love and support is not going unnoticed. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay. But today we're on day 17 and we're going to be talking about the pros and cons of renting. Okay, now I'm going to make this a two-parter because I'm going to go into today. We're going to talk about what we're going over when it comes to renting, and then we're also going to talk about the pros and cons of actually owning a home too as well. So we're going to give you three on both sides that'll help you make a decision for yourself, and then how you feel moving forward can be on your own accord. Okay, now today, day 17, like I said, so we're going to be talking about renting. So it doesn't matter on each side. You just need to choose the best option for you and at the time that you're making that decision. Okay. So I'm going to go pro and then I'm going to go con and let's go back and forth. Okay. So just stick with me. First pro that I would say with renting, right, is you're able to move whenever you want. Okay, so you're not tied down. You know, you're gonna have a lease and everything like that, but even then, you can choose what type of lease that you're gonna go with. Okay, so you don't necessarily have to even do a 12-month lease. You can end up doing a 6-month lease, and then you can move whenever you want at your own pace. Doesn't really matter if you want to say, hey, up and I want to go to a new state. You can go ahead and do that too as well. Okay. Now, a con to renting would be monthly rent can definitely rise at any time. Okay. So let's just say you do have that 12-month lease, right? And then you want to renew that lease. You may end up paying $100 extra each month because of the rise of maybe that complex is just getting a little bit better. Or also just cost of living is just going up in that particular area or in your city in general. So that's something that you want to look out for. Okay. Now, for another pro to renting is we could say that the repairs are not really done by you. Okay. Now, if something maybe breaks personally in your apartment, then that's fine on you. That's something you're going to have to replace. But if, let's just say, the water stops running correctly or the kitchen sink, the faucet is not doing what it's supposed to do, or the stove may not be working as it needs to be, right? You can call the maintenance team and have them come in and make that change for you. Okay, maybe they replace that tool, or they fix it to wherever it needs to be and get it updated so it's working again. Okay, so those things you want to look out for. Now, a con to renting, right? So this the second con is the change of ownership by complex or that particular condo. Okay, and when I say change of ownership is, let's just say your complex, and this mostly happens more with condos, but with your complex, right, they may get a new buyout of ownership, right? So now the owner, maybe he raises the rents, right? Or maybe he makes a change to how things are operating. Maybe your lease terms change, things that may be included. Maybe let's just say your utilities, cable was included, right? But then now cable is not included, so now that's an extra expense that you have to put in on your behalf, right? You're already paying for it in rent, but usually when they put it in the rent, they make it to where it's a little bit more feasible rather than you paying for it yourself. Okay, so those are things that you want to look out for, and that, like I said, that a lot of times that happens with condo changes, because usually it's just one owner of the condo change, not necessarily a business or LLC in a sense. Okay, now let's go to our last pro of renting, right? You don't have to pay any property taxes and it's less stress, right? So one, you don't have to pay the property taxes, but when I say less stress, I mean there's really no paperwork that you really have to do, right? You may have renter's insurance, let's say that, but that's really just something you maybe just pay monthly. Set it and forget it. Okay, but a lot of times when you're owning a home, that may be stuff that you have to worry about. Okay, if the insurance bill may come in, you got to make sure everything is up to date. Water bill comes in, you have to make sure everything is up to date. Not really much that you need to do when you're actually renting. Okay, but last con that we'll go to, right, and this is a good one because I know a lot of people like to make their house a home, right? Interior designs cannot be updated like you really may want to, right? So you have a wall, right, and you maybe want to paint that wall. Let's just say you want to paint the wall green. Okay, if you paint that wall green, right, you probably can do it, but you're going to have to make it and put it back to what it usually is at that time, right? Okay, so you can see the room that I'm in here, right? If I were to paint paint these walls, right, I would have to change it back to the same color as when I first got it. Okay, there's something that you want to look at. Okay, so just understand the pros and cons of what's going on in that particular area. And again, stick around for the next video, right? Make sure you watch that one too, because I'm going to go over the owning part of it, as in owning in house, and then the pros and cons when it comes to that. Okay. Again, I appreciate you guys tuning in. Thank you. Share this with your family and friends, and have a good one.